Hey, kia ora, Helen Brown's coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Burt Nap. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1350. And as it is the second Tuesday of the month, we have the fabulous, the incredible Nicole back with us. And today it's all about springtime. It's time, so let's spring clean the body. Woohoo! Welcome back, Nicole.
Thank you, Helen. What a great intro. Thank you.
You know I love being on here. Sparkly today.
The universe is very sparkly today. I agree.
I got all the hair cut off yesterday and it's just released the creativity. So that's my step one of spring cleaning the body. Cut the hair.
That is a good thing. Cut the hair. You know, a lot of people are talking about, oh my goodness, summer's right around the corner. I got to lose a few pounds.
But we don't use that word lose, do we?
We don't. Release. We're going to release them into the universe for somebody who might need them.
Yeah, I like that so much better. Well, my thought pattern has always been, if you lose something, like if you lose a set of keys, if you lose your watch, you lose your ring, whatever, you're going to go find it. Yeah.
You're always looking
for it. So if you tell I've lost 10 pounds, the body's going to go, oh my gosh, we've got to find those 10 pounds. And then it finds them and some more.
Yeah. And a few extras that they found around.
Yeah, it always picks up a few extras along the way, just in case.
So exactly. So people are thinking about, releasing that weight and, I think what happens at this time of year, people just love springtime. Like they feel a little bit more vibrant. They feel, people are starting to go outside, but then there's that part of people that also are like, one of the biggest things I've heard all week is how depressed people feel at the beginning of spring and that transition time as well. So it's really interesting. Like they want to be up and motivated and go out and do things, but yet they're still feeling a little sluggish and winter has lingered on. I think, I don't know about that groundhog this year, but, it just seems like spring, like winter has, gone longer and longer in certain areas. And I mean, they just had a blizzard in the Midwest in parts of the Midwest last week. So there are still people that are, have some of that colder weather and it's gone longer than usual. So their moods have fluctuated as well. So
didn't Tiny Phil predict another 6 weeks of winter?
He did. It's been a little bit more than 6 weeks now.
What I want to know is when does the 6 weeks start? He says, that spring's going to come early this year, or it's going to be another 6 weeks of winter. When does the 6 weeks start?
I think it starts on Groundhog's Day.
Well, that's February 2nd of February, which takes you to the middle of March. So
I know, and that should be
and isn't that normally the beginning of spring around that time?
Right.
Or I don't know. From when the beginning of spring is supposed to be.
I don't know, but I'm lucky I live in California.
I'm in Arizona. I will tell you this though, I have noticed in the campground that I'm at is that all of the snowbirds left a lot earlier than they normally do because the temperatures this winter have been very cool compared to the last 2 winters I've spent here.
There you go.
Yeah. Because most of the time, they're out walking around in t-shirts and shorts. They're having these outdoor parties at people's places and everything like that. And this winter, we've been, mostly in the 60s, maybe into the 70s. And all of a sudden, it went from in the 60s last week, we're in the 90s this week.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's hot. We hit 80 yesterday. I was out there weeding yesterday in my front yard. And I was like, all sweaty. And I was like, why am I so hot? And Sam says, well, it's over 80 degrees. And we haven't had 80 degrees in a while. I'm like, oh, yeah, we could probably do it.
So what are some things that we can do to spring? Because I love all four seasons, but spring and autumn are two of my favorites because they're so vibrant with color.
Exactly. So
there's two most colorful seasons.
I love that you got your hair cut because that is something that you can do in the springtime to make yourself feel better. Like I just got mine colored again, and so it's like bright and shiny. And
oh yes, yours is always. I love your hair. It's always vibrant and cheerful.
Makes it vibrant. Getting your hair trimmed after the winter months is always a great thing to do for your health, and it makes you feel good. Like we want to feel good. Most people want to feel joy and happiness and sparkly vibrations every day, right? So that's what we're all aiming for, is to have those great, wonderful days. And so getting your hair trimmed, believe it or not, is something, and you got yours all cut off and it looks stunning on you. So,
you should have seen the look on the hairstylist's face, because I walked in and because I had it up in a ponytail, and she says, "Can I help you?" I says, "Yeah, I was wondering if anybody was available today to help me with this," and hold it out to the side. And I was holding it out to the side like this. And she says, "Oh yes, I can do." I says, "Well, give me 20 minutes. I got to run home, put the frozen, because I just done grocery shopping, put the frozens in the freezer, and I'll be back." And so I was back in 15 minutes. She goes, "Oh, you were very quick." And I said, "Yeah, I just live next door." And so she sat me down in the chair, and I pulled the scrunchie out of my hair, and she goes, "Well, how much do you want to cut off?" So I showed her a picture from Christmas of 2017 when my hair was really short, and she went, "Oh, you want to go that short?" I said, "Yep." And of course she had some of the hair around the front, and it came down to, came halfway down my chest, and because it was long. And so she is grabbing handfuls. She grabbed 6 handfuls. First one, and she grabbed, and it was probably about 12 to 13, maybe 14 inches, snip. And when she started, it was sort of along the hairline along here is where it was. And I suddenly went, "Oh, I forgot to take a before picture." So I turned this way where it was dragging down. And if you look at the photograph online, you can see it up against my face. And it was purposely done that way so you wouldn't see what had already been chopped off.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, I love that you cut your hair. So that's the first thing, like getting a haircut, maybe going and buying a colorful outfit, right? Like we want our outside to reflect happiness and the spring and vibrancy as well. So, buying yourself, even if you just buy it, like today I'm wearing green, right? Well, you know what? If you saw this, I don't know if you can see it is.
Oh, I love that.
I love my
shirt.
And so,
yes, Patty shirt.
I do wear my green shirt other than on St. Patrick's Day.
So do I. I've got a St. Patty's shirt I wear on other days.
Exactly. So, so wearing some vibrant colors is always good to help lift that mood, right? And then you start thinking of, especially women, because most men don't have this thought, is, "Oh my goodness, summer's around the corner. What am I going to look like in a bathing suit?" Right? So now's the time to start thinking about that thought. Like if we're going to think it, and we might have put on 5 or 10 pounds during the winter months, and let's face it, some people might have an additional 20 or 30 pounds, and that's fine too, but oftentimes in the winter, we're eating a lot of those comfort foods. We're not as active. We're not doing those things that we do. So, women especially get it right around the middle, right? And so they get that belly. And so now's the time to start thinking about, like, what do I need to do to flush some of that out, right? So the first thing is, oh my goodness, I don't even have my water bottle close to me because I'm actually drinking some herbal tea right now. But the first thing you should think about is whatever your weight is, right? So I'm going to just say, let's say 150-pound woman, right? Or man, if men are listening, or men. So you want to drink half your body weight in ounces of water. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you should drink 75 ounces. Don't drink 75
pounds weighs a lot more water than 75 ounces.
Right? We only want you drinking 75. So whatever your body weight is, divide that in half, and that's the amount of ounces that you want to drink in water. Okay? And that's a good rule of thumb. It's great. It keeps you hydrated. It keeps your system going. It helps, you become a little more regular in the bathroom as well when you're actually getting the proper amount of water into your body. But that's the best rule of thumb. So what I tell my clients is they can use some trace minerals, or they can actually just use some sea salt. It is great to put a pinch of sea salt or a couple drops of trace minerals. Most of them come from New Zealand, by the way. Okay? And so I can give you a link, Helen, and you can put it down below if you want to.
Yep.
Afterwards. But they're great to put in your water because it creates natural electrolytes as well. And so we need those in our bodies. We need the extra minerals. We need that in it. Don't go by Gatorade. Just put a little bit of sea salt in your water and it will do the same thing. Right?
Interesting. I know about sea salt.
Yeah, sea salt.
Hang on.
Or Himalayan sea salt,
sea salt and water.
Himalayan salt. Yeah. And it will help give you those electrolytes, and that just helps with your body as well. That helps get everything moving. You want everything moving and doing the things that it needs to do properly, right? So definitely drinking water. And then let's talk about some food cravings, because a lot of people will say, oh, I'm going to eliminate this, this, and this. So I'll talk about a couple things that if you really want to, release those extras into the world, right? Some quick tips on that. But one of the biggest things I hear is, oh my gosh, but I crave dessert after dinner, or I'm craving chocolate, or I'm craving whatever.
I crave chocolate 24/7.
So here's a great tip if you're craving sweets, is to eat half an avocado or to eat a kiwi.
So half an avocado or what?
Or a kiwi.
Kiwi fruit. No, don't say. Okay, listen here for Americans.
Don't say kiwis.
A kiwi is somebody from New Zealand.
Okay.
And it is also our native bird. If you're referring to the fruit, it is kiwi fruit. It is one word. So the first time I came to the States, back 26 years ago, somebody says, "Oh, you're a kiwi. Oh, I love it from New Zealand. I love it in kiwi." And I'm thinking, you're eating an endangered species or you're a cannibal? I'm running. It took me a minute to figure out, they're talking about the kiwi fruit. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
I love kiwi fruit. And you got to eat the skin. You have to eat the skin. People go, I don't like the skin. It's all furry. I go, no, you got to eat it.
You can
eat nutrients in the skin.
Or you don't have to eat it if you really don't want it. But it will take away sweet cravings.
But if you can get the golden kiwi fruit, it doesn't have the fur.
It doesn't have fur on it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it has a yellow middle, and it's slightly sweeter than the green one. Well, it is actually sweeter than the green one, because some of the green ones can be very tart, which is what I like. So,
but both kiwi and avocados will take away cravings, and so that's a great little tip for people. And here's the thing: both of them, no matter what diet you're on, if you're doing something whole foods, if you're doing keto, if you're doing whatever you're doing to release this weight, right? Both kiwi and avocado is amazing for you because it's a natural healthy fat, and we need healthy fat. So it's such a misconception of like not wanting fat. So I guess that would lead me. That gives me a great other tip for releasing. Right.
Well, that's also a really good tip to know, because one of the things I find over the winter months is I tend to eat more sugar over the winter months.
Mm-hmm. People do.
So
and more carbs. They eat things that are a little bit more like a lot of meat and potatoes, or stews and
stews. So
they add a lot of the starchy things to it, right? And so those starchy things, show up like on your hips sometimes. Homemade bread. A lot of people do more bread during the winter months.
Yeah, I love my sourdough melted cheese, grilled cheese sandwiches.
There you go. So if you want to get into that bathing suit ready body, I'm going to suggest that you give up gluten for 90 days.
I'm trying to think of the last time I was in a bathing suit.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I wore it. The last time I can actually remember wearing a bathing suit was in 2012 on a cruise ship.
Wow.
And we were up in the big hot tub. There was a group of us on a ship, and I only last like 5 minutes in a hot tub because then I overheat. But that's the last time I can recall being in a bathing suit. And I'm trying to remember if there's anything since then.
I was tromping all over the beach in Costa Rica in November in a bathing suit. So.
Yeah, I don't do beaches.
And I do a one piece. I figure at my age I'll do a one piece, and I feel comfortable in that. But there's plenty of 50, 60-year-olds who can rock a two piece if that's what they want to do. Yes. So, but I definitely wear it. So but it's one of the things that you should give up is gluten. And I know that sounds hard, and a lot of people are like, how do I give up gluten? How do I give up bread? How do I give up all the all the grains? How do I give up oatmeal? Well, you can easily give up gluten for 90 days. And here's the amazing thing: if you give up gluten and you give up dairy, and you give them up at the same time, your digestive tract and dairy at the same time.
Yep.
Your digestive tract will take a break from working overtime, and your digestive tract will work amazing, and you won't have any issues in the restroom. Like I my husband says I talk more about poop than anybody ever know. But when you're in the health and wellness business and you're talking about digestive things and how things are
That's just the byproduct of it.
Talk about food. So, but
Now
we want you
now
not
doing the no gluten and the no dairy for 90 days.
Mhm.
What if you're doing pre and probiotics? Does that matter or not?
So it's really interesting about pre and probiotics. So some, here's the thing about pre and probiotics. Most of them, I'm going to say all of them. I'm going to be honest. All of them do not cover all 30,000 of the good and bad bugs that are in over 30 plus thousand that are in your microbiome.
Wow.
Right?
Even if some of them say they contain like 16 million.
Yeah, but I mean, you have yes, there's all this different things. But what happens is they're targeting one or two or three different types of the bugs. They're not targeting all of the bugs. So when we talk about pre and probiotics, we actually if you were my client, I would actually put you on a 5-month protocol of rotating them, because you have so many good bugs and you want those to be like healthy bugs doing the things that they need to be doing, right? And then you have so many of the other bugs that we don't want in your digestive system. And so we want to balance those out. And so to get them completely under, doing the things that they need to do, you need to rotate your pre and probiotics. You definitely need to rotate them out. So you shouldn't take the same one all year round. That's the other thing about eating. So we have this idea in our life that we should be eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. How many times have we heard eat 3 square meals every day, or eat your biggest meal in the morning?
I don't eat 3 square meals a day.
I don't either. I purposely don't. But
I graze.
What's interesting? Oh, you're the worst kind. So now I'll tell you why. So and I say that with love. So what happens is we don't give our bodies enough time to digest, and so our bodies are constantly fighting and working to do what it needs to do, and our digestive system it just goes on overload, right? And so this is oftentimes why we have those few extra pounds on us, is because we don't give our bodies time to digest and do the things that it needs to do. So grazers, I'm a grazer. Are you saying you're sorry to your body or to the dog? To your body?
I'm saying sorry to my digestive system that I graze.
Right? So we want to switch up our eating times. So this is something that we can do in the springtime. And it's a little easier, I think, in the spring and summer because it stays lighter, darker. So a lot of people say, well, don't eat after 7 or don't eat after this period of time. I would love to see you see people have what we call a 16-8, where there's 16 hours that you don't eat, and then an 8-hour eating window that you do eat. So that 8-hour eating window could be from 9 in the morning till 5 in the evening, or it could be from 12 in the afternoon till 8 in the evening. And so it's not so much, just that 8-hour eating window is when you would eat, your nutrient dense foods, right? And then you would give your body a rest for 16 hours. So that's a very common form of intermittent fasting. Here's what I tell my clients. Okay, so when you do that for a week or two, and then maybe on the 3rd week, you go, you know what? I'm going to do 18 hours without eating and only give myself a 6-hour eating window.
Oh.
So maybe you eat from 2 to 8 that day, right? So we've all skipped lunch. So it's really not as big of a deal as what people think sometimes. And then every once in a while.
But then you're also drinking water during that time too, aren't you? Or is there no water during that time?
And here's the thing I tell people. A lot of people think that they're hungry, but that's actually your body sometimes telling you you're really thirsty. So the first thing, if you feel like you have hunger pains, the very first thing you should do is drink a glass of water. So before you ever
if you're hungry 20 minutes later, then go eat.
Exactly. Then go have something to eat, right?
Yeah.
And so the less carbs that we have, which is the gluten, right? And the less dairy that we have, then we start realizing, and a lot of people, oh my goodness. So in the wintertime, people get these stuffy, mucousy sinus infections and drips going on. If you cut out dairy, most of that goes away. Dairy causes mucus and sinus. So if you take the dairy away for a period of time, you'll notice that your sinuses are usually very clear.
Because the only dairy that I have the only dairy I eat is, or I have, is maybe the occasional Greek yogurt, but usually it's cheese. Because I'm a huge cheese lover. I love cheese, and I try to get the imported cheese so that I'm not going under getting the weird stuff that the Americans put into their cheeses when they process them.
Exactly. So we don't really want processed cheese. We want imported cheese is the best if you're going to eat cheese. And so, Americans in this Western diet, we just eat way too much processed food, way too much. And so, and we live on it. Like people will say, oh, I'm a foodie and I have to go to this fair and I have to go to the, and they go to these fairs and these festivals, and then you watch what people eat. And it's just like, my heart just starts pounding because I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing. And once in a while, it's a good thing. Like once in a while, like I had strawberry shortcake the other night, right? And it was the whole, the buttery pound cake, and then I had the strawberries that were all mashed up, and I did use coconut sugar, which is a great source of sugar. It's nice and sweet, and it's not as processed. So I use coconut sugar to make them sweet, and then I put whipped cream on top, out of the can. All the chemicals, all the things, all the good stuff. And so, but I, for people who know me, that's something so rare that you're never gonna, like I do that maybe once or twice a year, right? So it's have something and do my indulgence. So, but that's just me. And so, but we're human, and we're going to go to an event, and we're going to do this. But there's a lot of things that happen in the spring. Like I said, you start thinking about the summer bathing suits, and you start thinking about going on vacations, and you want to fit into a dress. Or there's a lot of graduations happening. So May and June is graduation months, and then
prom season,
and weddings, and so
homecoming.
Exactly. So when you start drinking that water, your skin's going to look better. When you release the dairy, your skin's going to look better. So, and you will drop those pounds. You'll just like, I know I just said drop
it. Release like that.
Them up. So we're going to release those pounds.
Because there's always, this is the thing I like about releasing pounds into the universe for somebody else who needs them. There is always, always, always somebody else who needs to put weight on for the good of their health.
That's right.
Like if you think of preemie babies, they can't go home until they can't get out of NICU until they weigh a certain amount, and they've developed whatever other challenges they have, but they have to weigh a certain amount before they can leave the NICU.
Or my husband, that's 6 foot tall.
Yeah, and then you've got those that have eating disorders that are in rehab and stuff that have to put weight on to maintain their health and things like that. There is a lot of people out there for whatever reason that have to put weight on for their health. So releasing whenever you're talking poop. So we're going to have a poop conversation real quick. Just close your ears if you're sensitive to it. But every time I poop, I think, oh, there goes another pound for somebody who needs it.
That's awesome.
Every time.
Every time you have that thought.
And sometimes I'll add in there goes a pound of weight for those NICU babies in the local hospital that need to put weight on so they can go home and thrive. Sometimes I'll be specific on it, but there goes a pound of weight for somebody who needs it.
I have never had that thought when I go poo, but now maybe I will because I'll be laughing. This is what I was thinking about. This is what you're thinking about. So here's the thing: if you have any kind of constipation going on, usually it's because you need more water and you need good oils and you need to stop eating the processed food. That's a big thing with constipation. So with diarrhea, guess what the answer is? You need more water. You need to stop eating processed foods. It's the same solution, believe it or not, when it comes in the holistic world. So usually the first thing is make sure you have a ton of water. Make sure you're drinking half your body weight in water. Make sure that you're not eating all those extra carbs and unnecessary carbs that we don't need to eat. And I know those things are good, but try it for 30 days. If 90 days sounds scary, try it for 30. We can do anything for 30 days of our life, right? Mm-hmm. So I actually had a gal today because she's not, one of our programs, we take away we don't take away. Yes, we do. We eliminate a lot of foods. during a 4-month period of time. And we actually do an elimination diet with one of our programs. And it is for the better of their health. It really is. For people who have autoimmune and whatever, it's a really great way to get their autoimmune things under control. And she literally was in tears at first. I'm like, why are you in tears? And she said, because I just planted tomatoes and now you're telling me I can't eat tomatoes. And she says, I love tomatoes. And I said, and she says, maybe I shouldn't even can them. I said, well, of course you can, because we're going to eventually hopefully introduce these to you without having any issues, but it's just for 4 months out of your life, you know. And she literally started
Nothing
crying.
like fresh tomatoes on fresh baked bread with freshly made butter and a little bit of salt.
You see? And so, you know,
That
almost
was my
everybody.
favorite sandwiches when I was growing up.
And I said
With
to her,
fresh lettuce from the garden.
and I said to her, I said, it's just a very short period of time in your life. And I, you know, like it's this big of time. So when I'm saying, you know, try this for 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, you'll start to see how much better your body feels, and you'll start seeing that you're regaining energy. You'll notice that your skin is looking better. You'll look great in that dress that you have to wear to a wedding. I have a wedding to go to on June 3rd. You know, so you want to look good. You want to feel good. You want to, you know, like I said, people are starting to already start about thinking about bathing suit season. I went into Target and they have the bathing suits right in the front of the store.
Of course
you know,
they do.
Of course. You know, and so, but of course it makes people start thinking, right? You know, like, oh goodness, you know, it's right around the corner. So we want you feeling good. So we want you, you know, to, like I said, get your hair cut, you know, buy a new lipstick. I use a brand called Beauty Counter, so it's all natural and it's good for you. You don't want to put a lot of toxins into your body as well. So there are a lot of new makeup brands out there that are actually, you know, not full of toxins. So I use Beauty Counter a lot. It's one of my favorites. And so, you know, buy yourself a lipstick, ladies, or you know, gentlemen, if you want to wear lipstick, that's fine too. I have no judgment. So, but you know,
I've seen some men that wear makeup way better than women do, and it looks so good on them.
Oh yeah, right.
I'm like, how do you
Exactly.
get your eyebrows so perfect?
Right. And so, you know, we want to do those things that are going to make you feel good. We want to lift your spirits. We want to definitely elevate your spirits. We want you to wear fun colors once in a while. I'll stop wearing black all the time. You know, it's so amazing to me. You can go to an event. I went to an event. Oh my goodness. Oh, my husband and I went to go see a taping of America's Got Talent.
Okay.
And 90% of the people were wearing all black. So
we're wearing what?
All black. The people in the audience. You know, and it's like, you don't have to wear all black, people. You can wear navy. You can wear, or you know, you can wear colors.
Actually, they do. If you notice that in studio audiences, and a lot of the different studio audiences, they're all wearing majority of them are wearing dark colors.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something that they ask you to do.
Sometimes they tell you to, but
yeah,
you know, even afterwards, we went to dinner afterwards, and we were in a restaurant that was in a different city than the event, right? And it was interesting. Almost everybody in that restaurant was wearing black. So a lot of people it's their go-to color. It's easy. It's slimming.
I'm shopping for colored yoga pants.
Yeah. So
because all my yoga pants are black.
So don't be afraid to put on a splash of color, like literally.
Oh, I don't have a problem with that on the top half. Bottom half is usually black.
It'll make you feel good. You know, make sure to drink plenty of water, and make sure, you guys, if you're constipated or you have diarrhea, literally, that is a water issue usually. Make sure you're getting enough water. Make sure you cut some of that gluten out, and make sure you cut some of the dairy out. And you're going to be amazing what it will do for your body. It literally is like spring cleaning for your body.
Now, I have a question on the water with when you get the diarrhea. That's the time that you should be putting your pinch of mineral salts and sea salts and stuff into the water?
All the time. Every day.
Okay. Well, I'm just thinking with diarrhea, you're pulling those electrolytes out of the body as well.
That's a great time. That's a great time to do it.
What about something like lemon in the water?
Oh, lemon in the water is great. And here's the thing: in the morning, instead of getting up and necessarily having a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, it's always a good way to start your day and flushing out your system a little bit is just to have some warm or hot water and with some lemon in it. Yeah, it's a great way to start the day.
Can I put honey in there too?
Real honey. If you're going to use honey, use raw honey. Yeah, you don't want to use the sugary. You don't want anything that says fructose, corn syrup, anything like that. We don't want that. And believe it or not, there's a a lot of honeys out there that, you know,
yeah.
have all that in there.
You
So
want
just
raw, unprocessed. I actually like eating honeycomb.
oh, honeycomb's delicious.
Yeah, I like getting it and just like scraping it. But again, I put it on fresh bread with some butter. That was another one of my favorite sandwiches when I was growing up. That was one thing that, see, in New Zealand, one of the things that if we'd been ill, like throwing up and diarrhea and all of that, one of the first things that Mum would always give us kids, when we'd been sick, to see how our stomach would do, would be white bread with some butter on it, because we always buttered our bread in New Zealand. That's how we grew up. And then honey.
Wow,
because
nice.
honey had the sugar and the glucose in it, plus all the healing properties that honey has, especially if it's Manuka honey, which is only available in New Zealand unless you want to pay megabucks in the US for it. And if we kept that down, then we could have another slice of that a little later on. So that was how she started building us back up to eating again after we'd been sick and having the diarrhea and stuff.
What is the brat
white
diet?
Bread with butter and honey.
The brat diet is very common in America. What is it? Bananas, rice. I don't remember what the A and the T are. But banana.
A for avocado, maybe.
I don't remember. I'm gonna look now. The internet is amazing.
Oh yeah,
it's an amazing thing. Let's see.
It used to astound my mother-in-law when she was alive.
Oh,
because she'd sit there and she'd go, well, how old was Elizabeth Taylor when she died? I go, hang on, she goes, was Elizabeth Taylor still alive? And I look up on the thing and go, no, she died, and tell her the date and how old she was. And she goes, oh, and you got that from your phone? I went, yeah.
Bananas, rice. Oh, that's right. Bananas, rice. I said that. Apples and toast.
Yeah. Apples and toast.
Yeah. Diet is recommended for patients suffering from diarrhea or the stomach flu, those kind of things if you're just not feeling good. So,
yeah, my mom was white bread, butter with honey.
Oh, funny. I'm like, yeah, they always had the brat diet.
And usually, sometimes she would toast the bread and sometimes she wouldn't, but it was always white bread with, white bread, not whole wheat. When we had the whole wheat, we had to have white bread.
And you know what else you guys have that is something fabulous that we should all use here in the States, and you're an oil person, so you are going to know, is everybody should have tea tree oil in their home.
Oh,
right?
Roll on.
Yeah.
There's bottles in my pouch over there. But but you got to watch it around dogs, because dogs are highly, and there are some people that
they react to it.
You just go like this.
Yep. It's a great antibacterial. It's amazing for just about, like, you're sick, you use tea tree oil. Right. So I love that you have it right there, and you have the roll.
I have a little collection of roll-ons here. That I use throughout the day.
Any tea tree oil, it's very common in New Zealand, and so Helen knows. And so
eucalyptus is another one too that we get a lot of.
And you need to know all the properties. Helen can help you out with the tea tree oil. So
Well, that's I like the banana, rice, apples, and toast.
Yeah.
Actually, that'd be really good on top of the toast. You smash the bananas, throw a little bit of rice in with banana mashed up, and then spread that mixture on toast and slice the apples up on top. There you go.
And put them all together. I think a mother was just
I am one when it comes to combining foods. I do not hesitate combining foods.
There you go.
My favorite sandwich when I was in the Air Force, I used to go and get lunch early when I was working in the libraries. And my favorite sandwich was to go to the deli section that they would always have out, because they had the cooked meals over there. They had the deli section over here. Get cold meats, which were usually stuff that they had done roast the day before, and then they just slice it up and put it in the deli area. So cold meats, vegetables, and then a piece of fruit like an apple or a pear, something that can be, or kiwi fruit that could be sliced, and put it all into a sandwich.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Don't ask me what I did with shortbread, because I got asked weird questions when I did that. I would dip my shortbread in honey.
You dip your chocolate in honey? I've never heard that.
No, I dip my shortbread in honey.
Oh, your shortbread in honey.
Yep. Or I would smear it across the shortbread biscuit. I like to see how, I think, because when I'm looking at a recipe, I can tell if it's going to be flavorful or if it's going to be bland. And I'm like, okay, what can I put in it? Because recipes are just a foundation. So what can I add to it to make it more flavorful or to keep it this way? You know, if I've got to take dairy out of there, what can I replace it with? If I've got to take the gluten out, that uses it cassava. Was that the one that you told us about?
Cassava flour or cassava?
Yes, cassava
chips.
So I went into Trader Joe's the other day, and they had cassava chips. And I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to try that." They are really crunchy. They're yummy and crunchy. And that was just the lightness.
I love putting them on a salad. So cassava chips on a salad is great. So taco salad.
I had a salad. Roasted quinoa and avocado salad the other day with some chicken on it. It was good.
That is good.
I like my quinoa. Anyway, we are way past the bottom of the hour. So thank you everybody for watching. Nicole, as always, it has been a pleasure there. I have my notes.
And if anybody has any questions, they can always find me on Facebook. They can go to our website. They can ask Helen. Well, post questions. I'll be always.
Yep. If you have questions, please put them in the comments below, and we'll get Nicole to come in and answer them. Or I will ask her and then put the answer in there. We'll figure it out, but you will get your answers.
That's right.
If you do want to connect with Nicole, there is a link in the description down below that you can use to get in contact with her. But apart from that, Nicole, thank you so much for being back again. Next month is May.
Next month. May.
Yeah. May. That's like the prom season and graduation's June. That's prom season, homecoming season.
Prom season. It's people are getting ready for graduations. There's a lot of graduations.
And it's all those brides getting ready for their June weddings.
And then we have Mother's Day.
And we have Mother's Day in there.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
And we've got Memorial Day at the end of it. We've got Memorial Day, which is like the unofficial start to summer season.
I know. We'll have to come up with something fun to talk about.
I love barbecues I just can't.
Well, we can talk about some food, maybe spring and summer food.
Yeah. We'll come up with something creative. We'll work on that. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, konera.
Bye.